Now, some of you may be wondering, who the heck is this chick? Well, that chick is Ronda Rousey. In February of 2013, Ronda Rousey became the first UFC Women Bantamweight Champion. Though her career may have blossomed faster than she had expected, there had been many female fighters before her, but none of them were as successful as Ronda had been. This topic is important to look into because it is the fastest growing sport regarding women's sport. Therefore, I will be informing you about the evolution of women's MMA and how these athletes are being advertised. Before Ronda Rousey's success, there was Gina Carano. She was a graduate from University of Las Vegas, and she wanted to try out women's MMA. Lo and behold, she was a success also. However, the marketing strategy is questionable. Here is Gina Carano on the cover of Maxim magazine. In this picture, one can see that she's posed in a very provocative way. Gina Carano succeeded quickly because of her undefeated record and because of her looks. Gina was not the only fighter that was succeeding during this time. There was also another exciting fighter who knocks girls out, and her name is CRIS CYBORG. And keep in mind, these two fighters have the same amount of fights, and they're both undefeated. However, Gina got more attention than CRIS ever did. And it's also fair to say that these two fighters are very evenly matched up. And in 2009, they were set to go up against each other for the first time ever. Now, during this time, they were both fighting under Strikeforce, which is the second best fighting organization right behind the UFC. With that said, the president of UFC, Dana White, still did not want to sign any of these women's MMA. In fact, he said, women's MMA will never be in the UFC. Despite Dana White's opinion, Gina and Cyborg still fought each other. However, Gina lost for the first time ever in her MMA career. With Gina's devastating loss, she decided to make a transition from MMA into acting. And ever since then, women's MMA died down. Although Strikeforce decided to keep their women's division, it was still not as big as it was when Gina was fighting. And it wasn't until the year of 2009 that a woman named Ronda Rousey would call out the then champion Miesha Tate for a championship fight. Ronda called out Miesha Tate by using Twitter to get her attention and say that you're too scared to fight me and that's why you'll never be a real champion. It was the first time that a female fighter had trash talked to a different fighter. This of course stirred up a lot of attention, and therefore Strikeforce decided to give them a fight. As both fighters prepared to face each other, Strikeforce had come up with a new promotional video to get this fight even more attention. Although this may seem like a creative promotional video, one has to pay attention to how each fighters are dressed and what the video was focusing on. It is obvious that Strikeforce has once again focused on the looks of these fighters. There were more shots of them walking in high heels and tight dresses than videos of them showcasing their skills. After the promotional video was shown, it was time for the fighters to face each other. Of course, Ronda Rousey wins by submission as always, and she finally catches the attention of UFC president Dana White. UFC had its first ever women's bantamweight championship bout. And of course, Ronda also wins by submission. With the success of Ronda Rousey, women's MMA was back at the top once again. And because of her popularity, UFC decided to add another women's division, which is the strawweight division. This is where all fighters have to fight at 115. Though this may be great news, there are still some reoccurring themes to the way that these fighters are advertised. For instance, this is the promotional video for the strawweight division. As one can see here, sex sells. It might make you question, why is a fighter in high heels and short shorts? Since I have just shown you the evolution of women's MMA and its advertising strategy, we should take a look at how the male fighters are being advertised. For instance, this advertisement came out the same time as the UFC was advertising for the women's strawweight division. And this is common with the male fighters' advertisements. As one can see in this clip, there was much more emphasis on the fighter's skills than their looks. In conclusion, it is clear to say that in order to become successful in this industry as a woman, you not only have to be exceptionally great in your skills, you also have to have the looks. In other words, if you don't fit a certain type that these organizations are looking for, you most likely won't be as noticed as the elite fighters. Also, in a broader sense, female athletes may have a tougher time getting its notoriety than male athletes.